Now that the Inflation Reduction Act is a thing, we should probably take a look at what's under the hood, right? I did a lot of, breaking it down the previous day and it made allusions to this, so I just figured might as well cover this in a little bit more detail. And it's actually worse than I alluded to because I knew the numbers, I just couldn't quite pinpoint them, so, forgive me on that one. GOP issues warning. The Democrats' Inflation Reduction Act includes hiring of 87,000 new IRS agents. Why is that? How is that going to help inflation? Oh, well, they're just going to audit where all the taxes are going. What happened the last time that the IRS had such relevance and was held in such high esteem? It kind of systematically got rid of one emerging political party that was out there, the Tea Party, during the Obama administration. So what could possibly be happening after November once, the Democrats find themselves out of power and they still need an opportunity and a little bit of an advantage to needle their way through their political adversaries? Just wondering aloud. Republicans say Democrat-backed bill worth $740 billion includes funding to hire 87,000 new IRS service agents, which they say will target Americans. Yeah, well, who else is going to? And again, wouldn't need that many stupid IRS agents if you would just have a flat tax of 15%. Just saying, you wouldn't need to have people digging through years and years of records wondering if they're using tax loopholes correctly, if they're using their tax cuts, tax credits properly. No, all of that stuff would be irrelevant if you would just have a flat tax. You could just do that. That'd be great. The bill, known as the Inflation Reduction Act, will do none of that. Was approved in a 51-50 vote as Vice President Kamala Harris cackled her way while swinging the gavel because she loves power. And somebody who loves power that much should never have it. A provision includes the hiring of 87,000 agents, a move that was defended by Democrats who said the funding would target people who cheat on their taxes. And we're going to tell them to go after anybody who they could possibly suspect is cheating on their taxes, i.e. people who live in red areas. Millions of Americans aren't going to be impacted by that other than getting better service from the IRS. I doubt it. I fucking doubt it, because you're probably also funding the DMV as well. And I don't need to be a hack comedian to bring up the fact how well that operates with government funding. The government never makes anything run better. So what the fuck do you mean? Okay, this is just a way to just kind of fucking hand wave it all away. Well, let's see what else this asshole has to say. Other telephone answering, getting the questions that they need in order to comply with our tax laws. Our tax laws, huh? It's funny, right? Because you guys remember during the presidential debates, let's just bring that back. It's been a minute since I've referenced that. Joe Biden made this really, really strange claim at the time, and everybody thought that he was going to be full of shit anyways, but he kept making it over and over again. No, under my administration, there will be I won't have any new taxes on anybody who makes more than $400,000. Well, that was a lie. Plain and simple. Here's new taxes on small business owners who their profit margins are fucking minuscule to begin with. And then also, who's going to bear the frunt of this Inflation Reduction Act? The middle class. And what amount of money does the middle class make? Nowhere near 6 fucking digits, okay? The middle class, okay, the average median income of an American citizen is about $42,000 a year. Yeah, but at least, hey, they'll have new IRS people to lackadaisically answer their questions, make sure that they're paying to stay out of jail. Sounds smart, doesn't it? Senator Ben Cardin of Maryland, god damn it, told Fox News on Sunday, well, at least he had the cojones to show up on the Uniparty's right-wing affiliate. The auditing is going to be focused on those high-income and large corporations. Yes, no, exactly. Make sure they pay their fair share, blah, 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 blah. I'm sure that's exactly who they're going to be targeting, just like back in 2011, right? Sure. Meanwhile, Democrats have pointed out to a May report at the Government Accountability Office, showing that the IRS audits have dropped over the past decade, including audits for the wealthy. Oh my god, not the wealthy who have specialized accountants in order to make sure that their taxes are constantly being run back and forth to make sure that they're in compliance. I'm sure, yeah. The resources are absolutely not about increasing audit scrutiny on small businesses and middle-income Americans. That's a lie. Redding wrote in the letter, as we have been planning our investments for those enforcement enforcement resources is designed around the Treasury directive that audit rates will not rise relative in recent years for households making under $400,000. Dude, that's such bullshit. Like, that's just such a lie. You can say right now, well, we're not targeting anybody under $400,000 right now. Oh, okay, cool. But the Republicans warned that the IRS will target middle-class Americans with tens of thousands of dollars of extra agents. Yeah, you have all of those new bodies that are in there. You're going to have to put them to work in some form or fashion. Seriously, how out of touch do you have to be to brag about forcing a purely partisan bill through the Senate to raise taxes on the middle class, make inflation worse, lower after-tax incomes for Americans at every income level, decreases economic growth during a recession, and sends an army of IRS enforcers after grandma? The Republican National Committee spokesperson Tommy Pigott asked, according to the Washington Examiner. And Senator Ted Cruz said along with those agents will be targeting Americans with 1.2 million new audits, more than half of which would be on people making less than $75,000 a year, which is, again, still well over your median income. The bill is a giveaway to the Democrats' radical left base at the expense of middle-class Americans. Yes, exactly. What's their battle cry? Make sure you pay your fair share, tax the rich. Which, again, they don't understand would further crumble the economy. Or maybe they do because they want this big socialist takeover so that everybody works for the government. But, haha, joke's on you. It's actually like a big fascist takeover because there's going to be the have-yachts and have-nots. And guess what? It's just going to be big business tied hand in hand with the government. So there it is, but then I guess by proxy, because fascism is just socialism at the end of the day. Congratulations, comrade. The communist takeover, the communist revolution has begun. Makes no sense, and the bill will hurt America and hardworking Americans at the time we least afford it. Cruz finished his note. Senator Mike Crapo of Idaho. Dude, what's with these Republicans and terrible last names? A ranking member of the Senate Finance Committee disputed Democrats' claims that the new funding will be used to target tax cheats and millionaires. My colleagues claim this massive funding boost will allow the IRS to go after millionaires, billionaires, and the so-called rich tax cheats. But reality is significant portion raised from their IRS funding bloat would come from taxpayers with income below $400,000. Exactly, because there's really not that many people over that $400,000 threshold, or at least not that many that would require the hiring of 87,000 new IRS agents. Just saying. Again, it's just another expansion of government, but that's what the Democrats are here to do. That and just outright lie about things, because again, we've got people who have a combined life experience of, and I'm not joking, 160 years between two people, Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden. Run the numbers back. I'm not lying. Biden and Pelosi give wrong facts about the assault weapons ban. Yes, because it just passed the House yesterday, I think, because it was such a rousing success to begin with, and because cops weren't doing their job and Uvalde and crazy people continued to do dumb shit. So you know what we should do? Punish the law-abiding citizen. Wait, what? President Joe Biden and congressional Democrats are trying to reinstate the federal assault weapons ban that was in effect for 10 years because they claim it reduced gun crime. Nope, you make more guns illegal, guess what? You're going to have more gun crime. So it's kind of just a self-fulfilling prophecy that you have there. The bill, which passed the House, will soon get a vote in the Senate. It'll probably fail. Maybe, who knows. In an effort to get it passed, Biden and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi made some grand claims which they called facts. Oh my god. Again, they're so old. I don't even know if they're doing it on purpose or the fact that they remember when the firearm was created back when they were in high school, about the previous ban on rifles leading to decreased crime, even though most shootings and most gun violence happens with illegally purchased and illegally operated firearms in inner cities. Don't talk about that, though. Those facts don't appear to be backed up by the evidence. Okay, so again, facts, right? Supporters of the bans are calling their assertions facts in an effort to mislead the public. Lawrence Keene, Senior Vice President and General Counsel of the National Shooting Sports Foundation, NSSF, Told the Epoch Times, many of the Democratic members of Congress were purposefully misleading in their assertions that the 1994 assault weapons ban reduced crimes. And people that were there at the beginning. Remember, this is Joe Biden's landmark legislation, which was overturned in 2004. So it was good, and he was still around much longer after that. And Nancy Pelosi was still in office. I think Maxine Waters probably was as well. There's still a lot of old, long faces that have been there ever since 1994. Can you fucking believe it? Term limits when? Many of the Democratic members of Congress were purposefully misleading in their assertions. The 94 weapons ban reduced crime. Level of willful ignorance is comical, and the effects that they're trying to do wasn't so blatantly unconstitutional. Pelosi, what did she meander on about? But to be fair, she was about a couple drinks deep anyways. During that time, we witnessed gun crime with assault weapons drop by up to 40%. Where'd you come up with that one? The number of murders with rifles actually increased slightly when the ban went into effect. John R. Lott Jr., the president of crime research, told the Epoch Times, referring to the data, the FBI's annual release of reports from law enforcement agencies on homicides by weapon type. All right. He was also continuously trying to say things like, you know what, 13%, but also 52, and nobody wanted to answer him because we all know the uncomfortable truth. Lott also pointed out that no one collects data on crimes, or on all crimes committed with so-called assault weapons, because again, the term assault weapon is a political phrase referring to a semi-automatic rifle with various cosmetic features. Again, is an assault weapon, okay, just a simple sporting rifle? Does it become a weapon when it has a sight, when it has a scope, when it has a laser dot, when it has an optics rail? Like, what are we doing here, okay? Does it become an assault weapon when it has a standard magazine or when it gets a drum clip? Like, what are we doing here, okay? Can you define that? No, you just want to have a blanket ban as nebulous and ill-defined as possible, right? Good people out there. A rifle? Oh, I'm sorry. The House bill calls an assault weapon a rifle that has one such feature as a pistol grip. So remember, guys, this will be illegal. But if you want to have one, just a simple shoulder stock, that's not illegal. Stupid. Just fucking stupid. A folding stock or grenade launcher. How many people have fucking grenade launchers to begin with? And again, it's something that people should be allowed to have. I'm down with cannons and machine guns, okay? I could give less of a shit than anybody else. When Pelosi makes it sound like there's a grave risk of being killed by a rifle, it's actually a rare crime. Yeah, no, the rifles barely kill anybody, okay, except for some fucking whack jobs at certain places and certain times. Most of it's just, again, intra-gun or intra-gang shootouts in inner city places like Chicago and New York. No correlation there at all, right? It's actually a rare crime, says Lott, has reported that the percentage of firearms murders with any types of rifle was 4.8% prior to the ban, starting in September of 1994. During the 10-year ban, homicides by rifle was 4.9% of all murders. Then rifle homicides dropped to 3.6% when the ban expired in 2004. Oh, so it virtually remained the same, and then once everybody just stopped being so scared of those big black rifles, it just dropped off a cliff. Terrific. Speaker did not cite the source of her statistics. No, she just made them up out of the air, okay? Or she was just reciting back to the last thing that the doctor said. Oh, wow, your blood alcohol percentage is 40%. What? She could be referring to how violent crime went down since a spike in the 80s, which would include a small number of murders by rifles. No, don't even try to purse out anything that Nancy Pelosi is saying. That's just a recipe for brain cancer. So why are they doing this now? Well, okay, they're going to be going after you through your taxes. They continue to put more restrictions on your ability to travel, even though that there's no real, problem going out there. There's no dark cloud of Chinese virus that's out there hanging over everybody's head right now, at least for the time being. Well, it's just all about control at the end of the day now, isn't it, if we're going to keep it a buck? Why are top Democrats focusing public attention on legislation from so long ago that it has no impact on violence? They are living in a 1994 mindset because we have an anti-gun political class that still uses the same old talking points when it comes to assault weapons. But then, yeah, don't mind the fact that we all have paid for and bought by the taxpayer, our very own private security. Don't mind any of that stuff, okay? And definitely, if you don't want to be infuriated, don't look at how much money Cori Bush's fat ass paid out of your pockets, by the way, for her own private security. Don't look up at that, and don't be shocked if you find that it's in the 6 digits. Don't do that to yourself. They're highlighting the most emotionally compelling cases, mass shootings. It's an extreme rare case, then less than 1% of all gun deaths, to confuse and scare the public, and it's not working anymore. No, it really isn't. Again, you can always drum up emotion when you're using these emotional arguments, but if you keep going to that well over and over again, it starts to wear thin. It's the same thing that they do with everything, okay? You know, the mass shooting thing. Oh my God, we need to get rid of all of these scary guns. And then when another one happens, we need to get rid of all of these scary guns. You see all this stuff continue to happen. And then what? You just need to start escalating the victims when it comes to this. Won't you stop, please? The kids in schools, and somebody's raising their hand, and it's like, okay, why don't we have armed guards there? No, that's bad. That's stupid. Nobody ends up. There's no logical consistency when it comes to the idea that a good guy with a gun stops a bad guy with a gun. Except for if you take a look at one attempted mass shooting in a Midwestern mall that was thwarted by a guy who had excellent accuracy, by the way, the nailing 8 of 10 shots at about 40 yards away. Good for him, by the way. But no, man, these appeals to emotion with these highly inflammatory subject matters, you know who that's designed to appeal to, right? The Democrats' largest voting base. What about the facts? It's not about what you say. We just don't like how you said it. So yeah, that's the politicals goings-ons for the past couple of days. We'll see what kind of nonsense they get up to through the rest of the week. With all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.